All right, so now we coming to the function parameter. So we say function parameter is anything that we accept inside the say any function that accepts argument must be declared. Any function that accepts argument must be declared in function header. All right, so what I mean by the function header, so we have a function. If you guys notice here, I forgot to tell you guys, this is concatenation, which I've applied here. So because I just wanted to put here, so when we concatenate, it means we join this, glue this together. All right, so now we're going to see the function parameters. So any function that accepts argument must be declared in the function header. So what we mean by function parameters. All right, so any function that accepts argument. All right, so any function, any of our functions, say we create another function here. Say we put a function, say we put a function join. So we want to join our name. Say we put a string, or say we put a name and we put a surname. We put a name and surname. I hope the surname is okay. Surname, yeah. All right, so now we have a function which is got a two arguments. So the function's got a name and surname. So how we going to join this join name? You can call it join name, or join string, or join say add number or anything. So what we do is that we have to return this whatever we type here at our parameter. This is called parameter inside the PHP. And this so we call this our function is here is accepting the arguments, and the arguments is the name and the surname. So what we do is that we return our name, and we put a dot here, and dot is concatenation. All right, so we put a surname. All right, so now we have, if you look guys, look at the top, we don't have any parameters here, we don't have any arguments here or parameters here, and now here we have a name and surname, and we returning the name and surname, and we joining it together with like concatenation. This is called concatenation. All right, so this is called concatenation. This dot, it means we are joining the name and the surname. And down here, and we're gonna open another PHP here. We're putting a tag, and we put a PHP, and inside the PHP we put our name, my name, and is equal to, and we're gonna call this function, and our function is gonna be join name. So the function is gonna be join name. And because join name's got a two parameters inside, make sure if you guys don't put these parameters in, it's good, the PHP is going to expect you guys to put your parameters inside. Otherwise the PHP, the engine is not going to render this and going to give you the error. So what's the two parameter? My name is QD as Danny, and say I put a hi. I'm going to put in my Q, and I'm going to put a D, and I'm going to put a yes Danny. Then I'm going to put a yes Danny. All right, so now I put a two parameters, and I'm going to echo my my name. Yes. All right, so I'm going to explain to you guys again that if you guys know here that our local functions doesn't have a parameter, but this is have arguments. We call these arguments or parameter inside the PHP. And now because function join name we created, and PHP is going to accept the name and surname, at least two arguments here. And every time we call this function, so we in case of this one, global and local, we did not put any arguments here, and this one expects at least 2, so there is a 2 here. You guys can put any name, and then finally we're going to echo my name, and my name, NAMB name. Okay, my name. Okay, so now we come here, and you guys see that QD has done is displayed here, because here our function is gonna expect 2 names. So you guys can even put a my name equal, say we put equal my name is, and you guys look at here that my name is QD has done it, because here our function here that we create our function, we put 2 arguments here, 2 parameters called function parameters. And you guys see this is a variable because it has a $sign at the front, and now we here we are returning, there is 2 values here from our function, and the first one is going to be name, the second one is going to be surname, and this guy, little guy here, is concatenation. It means it's going to join our name, and joining means that QD as Dani is, look at here, is because of that little guy dot here. So now even though we do not put anything dot here, and we just put a comma here, so even though beside that, because in our function we already created this gluing or this joining, so that's how we do the function parameters. All right, so the last one is static variables. So what is static variable? All right, so unlike the variables which we said here above mentioned, that when the function exit, is the value is going to be destroyed, all of this. So as soon as we exit the function, the value is going to be destroyed. The static value, the static variable, the value is not going to be destroyed. So even though we exit the function, it's called the class variable. Say if you guys static variables, for example, if you guys in real world app as a login and register, and you guys can access the login and register because it's static variable from anywhere inside your function. So it's static variable functions, you guys can access it from anywhere inside your function. All right, so inside your application, and static variables works the same. So we put it a static, we put a P, static variable does not lose its value when the function exits. When the function exits, and will hold that when we call the function, when the function is called, hold that variable when the function is called again. All right, so now static variable is that variable that static variable does not lose its value when the function exits, and will hold that variable when the function is called again. All right, so now we go on top here, and gonna create the last function, which is going to be static my stat, and we do not put any argument in my stat. That's my static. So that's what I put, because you guys consider the reserved names as well. So here we guys put a static, and at the front, just like on the top, we put a global. Here we put a global, and now we put a static in front, so our variable is not losing the value. So our stat is going to be x, and we put the x is equal to 0. Say x is equal to 1, and what we do is that we're going to increment this x. We increment it, and we do equal, and we're going to call this x, we're gonna equal x, and we're gonna equal, we want to break it. Alright, so now that we here and we go to static and we see our PHP, we're gonna call our function, and the function is gonna be myStat. So we're gonna call this function, and if you guys know that static, it's got a x is equal to 1, it's have a x, our variable is x, and it's got a value 1, and here we, because this is static, it resides inside this function, and now we increment it, we equal it, and we put a break line here after this. Alright, so now what we do is that what was the name of the function? The name of the function was myStat. We put a myStat. Alright, and you see myStat, because we put a value of 1 and plus we put another one, and it's going to be 2, because our function which was static here has a value of 1. We incremented 1 because plus is increment 1, and it's 2, and that's how we displayed here. So what we do is that now we're going to come here and we put another myStat, and because we're calling the function twice, we see it's 3 because it still holds its value, the value is 1, and because that function with the value of 1, it becomes 2, and 2 becomes 3. So how about we do the function is a value 0, because we see if it's going to increment its value, because so we put a value of 0, and you guys see that it becomes 1 and it becomes 2, and this function, our function is still the same, and we can the reason it's going up is because this one, so this becomes 1, and plus it goes again, we call again, it becomes 2 and becomes 3, and regardless of how many times you guys do, it becomes, so even if you put a myStat, so you guys see that every time we call, it's 3 here. It doesn't matter which way you guys call this function, it's gonna be same. You guys gonna be same. So if you guys come here and call our myStat again here on the function parameters, on the top ones, and you guys see there is a 1, because this function you guys can call from anywhere. So that's what is called the static variables. Keep in mind, the static variables you guys can call from anywhere inside your function. So now this static variable is going to be there, and because you guys can create this by pressing this, putting this top constant static, and now it's got a value of 0, and it's going to be increment, and we're going to equal, and that's a break line, and that's what you guys see here. So it's 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, so that's PHP scope of variables. We've got a local variables, we've got a global variables, we've got a function parameters, and we've got a static variables. And that was totally, I know you guys, the beginner, you guys a little bit confused. I hope you guys got the idea of this scope of variables inside the PHP. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you guys got any question or comment, just leave it in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.